The movie commenced with a high faculty student known as Sion. He was the smartest pupil in his schoolroom. He had reserved, an introverted personality. Every day he spent most of his time to study. He didn't have pals at faculty. His classmates hated him because he was once too clever. Because he didn't have friends, no one respected him at college despite of his exquisite achievements. On the contrary, his classmate known as Younger Ben was very respected. When CM acquired award as first vicinity winner in a mathematics opposition, no one clapped their palms, but when Younger then received an award as third vicinity winner, the complete class clapped their arms. Younger Ben was a troublemaker in his type, but he was quiet, smart. There have been many college students in their lecture room who have been bullied via him and his group. They additionally robbed some money from other college students. Younger guys tried to bully Seeing when Seeing was once studying. Younger Ben was jealous of Seeing them due to the fact CNN defeated him in the mathematics competition. Even though CN was once an introverted student who didn't have friends, he was in no way afraid of Young Ben and his team. He did not even care when Young Ben threatened him. The school baseball crew got here to their schoolroom. They had been looking for a scholar called In Suho. They desired to take revenge on Suho for beating up their pals. Even though they tried to beat him up collectively with baseball bats, Suho managed to defeat them due to the fact he used to be an ex-fighter of MMA. When Seeing got here home, he gave it certificate of understanding to his father. His father was once proud of him, but Seeing wasn't proud of himself because he used to be lonely even when he used to be with his household. Seeing solely lived with his father in view that their parents acquired divorced. Lacked of affection from his parents. His father was once very busy with his works. In the meantime, his mom was once a teacher who was educating at a distance. It was once hard for Seeing him to see his mom. He may want to solely watch his mother's movies each day due to the fact of his family problems. CN became a reserved and reclusive character. The next morning, as common, CN got here early to faculty. He noticed Suho sound asleep in their study room. They had bodily education class that day, but CN could not locate his tracksuit. He believed Younger Ben was the one who stole it. As the end result, CNN had to wear his uniform in physical education classification. CN was once the top scholar in all instructions without physical schooling category. He wasn't truly exact in physical education class. After physical training classification used to be over, CN confronted Younger Ben and his crew. He asked Young then to leave him alone. Younger Ben and his team felt humiliated via cyan, so they choked and threatened him. Suddenly a teacher came and interrupted them. Younger Ben and his group stopped what they did. They stated that they had been simply joking around. There was once a transfer scholar referred to as Bamsuk in CN's schoolroom. He moved from an elite high school. Bamsuk refused to admit that he came from rich family because he didn't desire to be taken. Gain of Cyan got here and informed Young Ben to pass from his desk. Younger then was annoyed with the aid of him. Seeing took a pen to guard himself in case Young Ben attacked him. Suddenly Suho advised Young Ben and his team to shut up. He was mad due to the fact his sound asleep used to be disturbed by them at night time as regular. Younger Ben and his group hanged out in a membership and ordered a drug. They did that each day. Younger then met the drug dealer who used to be additionally cousin. He asked him what would appear if the fentanyl he had ordered was once utilized to human pores and skin. The drug provider instructed him that it would reason confusion, dizziness, blurred imaginative, and prescient nausea and vomiting. The next day the type had an examination. As usual, CNN had organized himself well. Youngben got here late to faculty. He requested Bomsuk to go with him due to the fact he said but their homeroom trainer desired to meet him. Became out. Bomsilk used to be introduced to school canteen. Young then asked him to apply the fentanyl to C in his neck while they have been taking the examination. Later, Bumsuk agreed to do what Young then informed him due to the fact he was once afraid. And when they were about to take the examination, Bumsuk tapped Cyan's neck from behind. Bumsuk said that there was once a fly on Sean's neck. At first, Cyan was once mad at him. However, after the trainer referred to as him, see him focus returned on his examination. While Seeing used to be taking his examination, his imaginative and prescient unexpectedly commenced to emerge as blurred. He also had subject to stay focused. He left the schoolroom to go to the bathroom. When Cyan back to his study room, he realized that there was once a fentanyl on his neck. He abruptly slapped his cheek. The entire class used to be surprised by him. They had been paying interest to him. Cyan kept slapping his cheek so he should remain targeted. After the class had finished taking the examination, they began to take a look at their answers. Cyan realized that he had one fallacious reply. He got frustrated because of it. He got from his chair, brought a pen, and attacked Younger. Then relentlessly he additionally stabbed Young Ben's friend with his pen. Youngman fell from his chair with a face that used to be blanketed in blood. There was nobody in the lecture room who dared to intervene. Son, when Seeing tried to step on Younger then's face, Sue suddenly stopped him and pushed him away. He thinking that it used to be 2 tons. Cn was once irritated by means of him. He took a chair to fight him. Unluckily, Sue managed to avoid his attacks. All of a sudden, a teacher got here to their study room due to the fact of that incident. Young Ben had to be admitted to health facility for remedy. Cn was taken via his instructor to express regret to Young Ben parents, but Young Ben's mom kept scolding him due to the fact she was livid at him. Cn told her that he was once drugged with a fentanyl via Youngbin. While they have been taking an examination, at first Youngbin denied that the fentanyl used to be him, but seeing him proved what he stated through rummaging in younger Vin's bag. A box of fentanyl was located in his bag. Young Ben's mother used to be shocked to see that subsequently the faculty determined to transfer young men to some other college. They also agreed to preserve this incident of drug use with the aid of their pupil as a secret to keep their correct popularity. When Cyan returned home, he didn't say something about what befell at college that day. Seeing his father suspected that CNN had gotten into a fight, however, he didn't care about it. He concept it was a regular thing that took place amongst teenagers. The subsequent day, two of young Ben's friends approached Cyan angrily. They requested him to meet them after college, but except a single worry, Cyan asked them to meet him proper. At that time, they didn't want to wait till the college was once over with. Angry faces. Younger Ben's friends followed Cyan into a toilet. Cyan closed the bathroom's door so no one could see them. They didn't realize that CNN had delivered his favorite weapon, which was once his pen. As seeing him used to be strolling toward them step by step, they have been getting intimidated by using him. They remembered the incident where Cyan was once getting out of manipulate. Couldn't go their physique when they remembered it. Curiously, Cyan did not prefer to attack them. He only instructed them to leave him alone. When Cyan came out of the loo, all his classmates praised him for defeating young Ben and his team. Cyan was once irritated by way of them because unexpectedly they had been being friendly to him all this time. They had ostracized him and pretended like he didn't exist. Young Ben used to be visited by means of his cousin Supday, warned younger then to not overdo something. Young then asked Sukday to be up soon. He would pay him if he used to be willing to do it. At night, when Cyan used to be heading home, he noticed Sue working part-time. Apparently, aside from being a student, Sue also worked part-time as a meals delivery courier at restaurant. After faculty, he would go to work so he may want to earn some money to live on account that he misplaced his dad and mom. He solely lived with his grandmother, but after he completed working, he did not come home. He selected to sleep at school instead due to the fact he would come late to college if he slept at domestic. After seeing and determined out about Sue's story, he did not wake him up each and every morning anymore. He liked his effort, so he landed sleep for more before everyone came. Cyan and Sue became nearer to each other considering then. However, CNN still didn't get used to be open with different people. Young Ben that such day to speak about the job he offered him yesterday. Sukday was once a member of a series agency who lent cash and gathered debt, so he was down to do any high-paying job after school. Bumsuk tried to make an apology to CNN for what he had performed. He offered himself to accompany CNN to go to every other faculty for a tutoring, but seeing unnoticed him. Suddenly, Cyan used to be stopped by means of young Ben and Sukday's gang. They took Cyan with him after Bumsuk saw that he reported it right now to Sue, who at first Sue didn't care because it wasn't his enterprise. He also had to go work after this, but after Bumsuk said that he would pay him double of his earnings, Sue changed his thought. He was searching for Cyan. Immediately in a quiet alley, Cyan was once being intimidated through Sukday and his gang, considering that seeing him was once a character who had usually analyzed and calculated his movements. He managed to battle them again, but when Cyan dropped his guard, he was getting attacked again. Younger then used this moment to take revenge on him via beating him up relentlessly. He also tried to smash Season's palms so he couldn't find out about, but all of a sudden Sue, who came to retailer Cyan, managed to defeat young Ben and his pals with his competencies. However, their battle wasn't over. Sukday requested Sulu to fight one by means of one. When young Ben and his buddies noticed a scene on my own, they desired to beat him up once more. The state of affairs was getting worse. Younger Ben wanted to attack Cyan with a bottle. Sue could not stop him due to the fact Sukday saved attacking him. Luckily, Bumsuk unexpectedly got here to keep Cyan. Sukday in the end left and decided to let Cyan and his friends go. In the meantime, Youngman simply stood there and realized that he had lost once more because that incident. Cyan and the others grew to be nearer to every difference. Sue took Bumsuk and Cyan into the restaurant where he was working. He told them to help him working due to the fact they made him late to go to work. They spent their night collectively by having dinner at that restaurant. But as ordinary, Cyan still didn't get used to spend time with people. Sukday's boss, who was once called Gilsu, was mad due to the fact of the incident. He did not like his Sukday took any other job. He punished Sukday by way of hitting his hand with a block of timber. After that, Sukday met younger Ben to ask him to bring Cyan to him. Cyan encountered a member of Sukday's gang referred to as Yangi, who was once stealing something at supermarket, considered and ignored her and pretended like he didn't see that when he used to be about to leave after purchasing an umbrella. Younger, he used to be being pleasant to him. She asked seeing him to go to a restaurant with her. Cyan could not do whatever, however, to be given her offer. Young, he confessed to seeing that she started out to have a crush on him. She additionally asked for CNN's cell phone numbers. Gilsu used to be collecting repayments of debts from a high college student who earned some cash. That pupil gave his mother's automobile as a lengthy warranty because he was once unable to pay off his money owed. Even although he had given Gilsu a vehicle as a lengthy assurance, Gilsu still threatened him to kill him and his dad and mom if he did not pay off his debts in 3 days. The subsequent day, when Youngban packed his Things in the study room. He requested CNN to have a dialogue with him. Became out Youngbin wanted CNN to be a court witness to testify that he did not own any fentanyl because he didn't want to be put in a formative years detention. Middle, he advised him that he used to be the solely assist for his dad and mom. CN felt awful for him, so he agreed to do what he desired. CN have been heading to the court docket with his friends, but Youngbin took them to a vehicle park of a building. Rather, Seeing and his pals suspected him because they didn't go to the court docket. Interestingly, Younger then had lied and tricked them to meet Gilsu and his gang. Gilsu requested them to pay him 15,000 greenbacks due to the fact he didn't have health insurance to cowl for Suk to his broken hand, but Su didn't take note that he injured Sukdae's hand severely. Gilsu used to be the one who broke Sukdae's hand and then blamed Sulu for it. He did it so he could get some cash from him and his friends. Gilsu advised them to pay him in 3 days. If they could not do it, they had to lend money from him to pay him. We could see how sly and manipulative Gilsu was. Once he even threatened to kill them if they refused to do what he informed them. After that, undesirable. That means Seeing and his pals have been accompanied and washed by using Gilsu and his gang each day. CN called Youngie to ask for an rationalization about the problem he was dealing with. He hoped that Younger he could supply him an essential information. They subsequently agreed to meet at a restaurant. He informed Cyan about who Gilsu used to be. Interestingly, Gilsu used to be a kind of a character who would do anything for cash, including murder. He instructed CNN to pay Gilsu if he did not prefer to be in any hazard. She additionally told him that Gilsu were buddies with many gangsters, so it would be difficult to run away from him. Bomsuk was stealing his father's watch, so he may want to sell it and have some cash to pay Gilsu. Ultimately, 3 days had handed considering Gilsu threatened CNN. As pals, they had an assembly in a room. Bumsuk managed to accumulate 15,000 bucks from promoting his father's watch. However, he instructed them that he bought the cash from his father Zion and Sue, who had been mad at him because they didn't believe that Bumsuk's father used to be inclined to provide him that much money. Even though they had the cash, they refused to give that cash to Gilsu for free. They determined to call the police as an alternative. Zion advised them about the necessary facts he obtained from Yoongi. Last night time, apparently Gilsoon had an illegal gambling website for minors, especially for high college students. People would get hold of $50 for free for each account they registered on Gilsu's playing website online, which used to be operated distant places. Younger, he said that the playing aspect was once a fraud. The gamers would win and acquire many bonuses for several first games, but after they bought addicted to it, the site proprietor would use their dependency to take their cash, defeat them in every sport. The place there have been gambling aspects. Players there were bounds to be Gilsu's gang. When those players ran out of cash, Gilsu's gang with strategy them to lend them cash, so they ought to hold playing on the gambling site. As the end result, the gamers would owe them money and could not pay their money owed off because they had lost all of their cash on the playing site. It used to be one of Gilsu's evil strategy to exploit young people to get addicted to playing, so they ought to lend money from him and gave them their valuables as long insures such as vehicles, gold bars, etc. Youngie additionally told CNN that Gilsu put his valuables such as transactions, drugs, etc. in a sturdy container due to the fact of that CN wanted to call police and deliver them to that place with all evidences inside of that robust container. Gilsu would get arrested through the policemen after college. Gilsu and his gang had been waiting for Scene and his pals. Su stated that he would meet Gilsu by himself. He planned to ask Gilsu to take him to his workplace to talk about Gilsu's gambling site. When he arrived there, he would inform Ja about his location so Zion could name and convey the policeman there. At first, Dulce was once amazed that Su knew about his playing site. Su said that Sukdae's cousin Young Din informed him about it. Gilsu sooner or later took Suhu to his workplace with him because he had no option. Before they left, Youngie told Gilsu that she would remain at faculty to wait for Bumsuk and Seeing. After that, Youngie met CNN to give them the tackle of Gilsu's workplace. CN didn't realize it sooner that Su didn't have to go with Gilsu to get Gilsu's tackle. Bumsuk was once annoying about Suhu. He desired to observe him with a taxi. Him let him go because he desired to see if Youngie gave him the right address. Sukdae interrogated Youngie for knowing Scene and revealing such an essential facts to him. Youngie instructed him that she was once ailing of Gilsu. She planned to name the police on him. She said that she couldn't stay below Gilsu's stress continually. Suhu arrived to Gilsu's office. He gave Gilsu's tackle to see him without delay. It was the same address as the one that used to be given by way of Young Suhu. Walked inside of the workplace. Seeing that Gilsu constantly kept his guard up, he requested Suhu to provide him his phone. He had been suspecting that Sugu had deliberate some things. Suhu refused to supply his phone. His head used to be hit very hard with an iron stick that he fell from his chair. Gilsu subsequently observed out about Su's diagram to name the police on him. After he found out about it, he packed his things and left the place. Immediately arrived there and encountered Gilsu, who was trying to run away. Bumsuk did not recognize when it passed off, so he tried to give Gils through the money. Due to the fact the situation had grown to be worse, Gilsu ignored the cash and took Bumsuk with him to depart that vicinity. CN used to be heading to Gilsu's office as he and the policeman Arrived there, they did not discover every person. The policemen put off their search because of that. They also realized they didn't have arrest warrants, so they could not proceed with their search because the policeman didn't help him. Seeing broke into the house through climbing the wall and breaking the door. He was once surprised to see blood on the floor. He notioned that it used to be Sue whose blood. He tried to call Sutherland Farm, but Sue didn't reply. His name seeing used to be shot to locate that the transactions tablets, Gilsu's other valuables in the strongbox had been taken through. Gilsu found out that Sukde and Yangi had conspired with Seeing. In opposition to him, Gilsu threatened to sell Young his brother called Sunshine as Sukde, and Young didn't come to Mangdong. Sukde determined to meet Gilsu. He gave his bank card to Yangi so she could locate a resort to disguise, but Younger he didn't favor Sukde to meet Gilsu on my own. She wanted to go with him. She requested Cien to download an software that enabled him to share place so Cien could track Sukde in Yangi's area. Gilsu and his gang had been ready for Sukde and Younger. Interestingly, they had taken Bomsuk Suhu as their hostages. Cien was once heading to Young his region, considering that Gilsu had observed out about Yang's conspiracy. Sukde assignment Gilsu for a battle, but because Sukde's hand used to be nevertheless severely broken, he had subject him. Finding Gilsu, he was once attacked relentlessly by means of Gilsu Young. He couldn't assist Sukde because she used to be seized by way of Gilsu's gang. Gilsu desired to kill Suhu and Bomsuk, however, unexpectedly Suk got up and attacked him. Despite he had a little difficulty, he nevertheless fought Sukde. He was once defeated by way of Gilsu, who used a knife to attack him. Suddenly Younger he helped Sukde by hitting Gilsu's head, but as a girl who didn't have as an awful lot electricity as Gilsu, she couldn't combat Gilsu when he choked her. Fortunately, the sound of siren from police auto was once heard. Gilsu and his gang ran away rapidly. Cien got here and instructed Gilsu to surrender due to the fact the policemen had surrounded them. Gilsu and his gang returned after Seeing and helped Bumsilk and Suhu to break out. Turned out the siren sound solely came from a phone. Gilsu's gang and Sion's crew got into a fight. Sukde and Yangi have been about to run away from that location when they saw some policemen arrive. Their grew to become out. Cien used the siren sound audio to trick Gilsu and his gang so they would think that the policeman wouldn't come. A policeman tried to arrest Gilsu and his gang with his gun. Meanwhile, another policeman was chasing Sukde and Yangi. Regrettably, Gilsu managed to escape from them. Seeing and chase Gilsu by himself. See him used to be chasing Gilsu till he eventually discovered him. They received into a combat notwithstanding Seeing and did not have much power as Gilsu. His attempt to battle Gilsu managed to slow Gilsu down unexpectedly. Su got here and saved Sensu. Gilsu acquired into a battle. Despite Su, who was once an MMA fighter, he had a little situation and battled Gilsu via himself, and Suhu managed to defeat Gilsu. They eventually caught the crook who had been terrorizing many students. Sukde surrendered himself to the police. He told Yangi and Sunshine to run away. This crook case would be handled by lawyer who came about to be the assistant of Bonsuk's father. That lawyer stated that he would not talk about this case with Cien's parents, but he would tell Bonsuk's father about it on the grounds that Bonsuk got here from surprisingly revered and wealthy family. Everyone who had harmed him would receive serious punishment. The lawyer asked Bonsuk to beat up Gilsu as he pleased. He did not care if they were in a police station. Bonsuk did not desire to beat up Gilsu. Gilsu mocked him by way of announcing that he was the weakest amongst his pals. Gilsu told him that Suhu and Zion did not think about him as their friend. Cien got here out of the police station, saw Yangi ready him backyard. Younger he desired to apologize to him and Suhu. They went to medical institution to go to Suhu. Seeing informed Suhu that Bomsuk's father wanted to preserve the case a secret. It seemed like Bomsuk's father desired to handle the case as if they have been the one who caught Gilsu and his gang. CNN didn't care about that. What essential to him was that Gilsu and his gang had been arrested. Besides, Bumsuk's father had paid off Su's hospital costs. Apparently, Bumsuk's father used to be a member of parliament who was known as Jean when he was an exceedingly respected character. As her apology presented herself to accompany Sulu at health center. She may want to sleep on empty mattress. Younger he stated that she seen him had been dating. When Seeing came home, he felt lonely again. Nobody there requested where he had been. He decided to return to the health facility. He additionally added Su's favorite meals with him. Su was surprised because Seeing cared about him notwithstanding of his cold personality. At Bumsuk's house, Bumsuk's father scolded Bumsuk because he got involved with the police. He did not like it because it may want to injure his proper recognition. Then he punished Bumsuk by hitting him with a golf stick. And schoolmates admired CNN and his pals because they had caught Su and his gang because that incident considered, and his pals became nearer to every other. They desired to hold out together. Cien instructed Bomsuk that Young he had grew to be their pal and lived in Suhu's house. Su said he would ask Younger he to hang out with them. Bomsuk felt like he was once left out due to the fact of Yangi's presence. He felt like he was once excluded from group. He used to be mad when he found out that Su did not fall on returned on Instagram. Su even accompanied Young even though they had been knowing each other for just one night. Considering Younger he joined their team, Su talked to Young he more than he talked to Bumsuk. Bumsuk felt like Young He pretended as he didn't exist. Because of that, Bumsuk didn't enjoy their time collectively when they went to a karaoke bar. Bumsuk grew to become extra unhappy, so he left their room to purchase some drink.